It might be the biggest understatement of all time to say that moving to South Carolina changed my life. For the first 18 years of my life, I lived in central Illinois, which was about as uneventful as it sounds. It is a place that is almost entirely farmland and made up of very little outside of being halfway between St. Louis and Chicago. That said, I love where I grew up. I didn't grow up in like a city environment or even, what passed as a city where I was at, but I grew up in an incredibly small farm town, and I met people who were some of the most loving, caring people that I think I could have ever met. And I had such a intimate relationship with people. Even if I considered them strangers, I still knew who they were. There was a familiarity to pretty much the entire place, which is hard to replicate. It's hard to create that. And so the fact that I got to grow up with that, I am so grateful for. And there's nothing that I would trade for that. However, I'd be lying if I said I didn't spend every single day of my life growing up wanting to be anywhere else, wanting to move anywhere else. Which is why it was kind of a surprise when my mom decided to move the whole family to South Carolina as soon as I graduated high school. Big change. Some backstory for you. My mom has always suffered from what I like to call Jimmy Buffett syndrome. Now, this is a progressive disease that starts when you begin listening to Jimmy Buffett and or Zac Brown band music every single summer. My mom, for pretty much the bulk of my life, was constantly talking about living in the South, finding her way to the beach. When can we get to the beach next? Let's go to the beach. We even took a family vacation to South Carolina to make sure that we were really getting as much beach time as we could. But then eventually something just, she said, all right, I'm done. I've had it. It's time to go south. So when I graduated high school in 2017, about 2 months later, she got a job as a teacher down here in South Carolina because South Carolina desperately needs teachers. She moved down here with my two sisters, and eventually the whole family kind of followed. I had so much adjusting to do moving here. And not just things like weather, which, summers got hot in Illinois, but then, here the climate is it's a tropical climate, humidity's nuts. And trust me, if you want to know about the humidity, just mention weather to anyone in a 5-mile radius, and they'll come out of the woodwork like, hey, do you hear about the humidity? It's constant. I'm sick of it. Shut up. Shut up about the humidity. Shut up about the sun. Now, obviously, there's a pretty big time frame between 2018 and 2026, which is where we are now. And honestly, that time has been kind of wild. I went to college for a little while, and I've had many jobs since I've been here. And I've gotten to have experiences and opportunities that I would have never had in Illinois. For example, I think my whole time growing up, I was on a boat maybe twice, I think. There was a lake where I grew up, but I didn't know anybody with a boat. And then, moving here, and it's like everybody and their mother has a boat because we're surrounded by water. Most of the land around here is islands. And not only that, but suddenly, I'm closer to big, significant locations more than I ever was before. What was I around in Illinois? Springfield, Bloomington. Oh, hey, you want to go see where State Farm started? But now, I'm located between major historical sites going up to, Augusta in Georgia, to Savannah, Georgia, to Charleston, South Carolina. There's so much in driving distance. And then even beyond that, Jacksonville, Florida is only about 3 hours away. St. Augustine's 4. Charlotte, North Carolina is about 5 hours north. We have so much accessibility to experiences that we didn't have in Illinois. And that's all well and good. But obviously I still had to fit into this new town and this new location where I lived. And that was a big challenge for me. And I spent a lot of that time in tourism. And then probably the best job I've ever had was I worked at a zip line park, which, not saying that that's exclusive to South Carolina, but I wouldn't have found that place if I hadn't come here. And I met people that were some of the most important people to me that I've ever met. My best friend, I met there. My girlfriend, I met there. And we have experiences there that we still talk about, and that was still, such a monumental experience for all of us. But living in South Carolina has just given me such a different perspective on nature and on history and just on what life can feel like. And I don't know how to explain that without being here, but there's something about, driving down the road with live oaks branching over the street, the moss hanging down off the trees, and it's hard to feel real a lot of the time. Sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes, I'm driving over a bridge and I see the sun setting over a marsh, and the sky is this perfect shade of where orange meets blue, because it's just starting to go down and it's reflecting off of the high tide in the marsh, and it's just magical, man. It really is. I mean, I say that like it's a joke, but it really is kind of magical, and you really only experience it by being here. I mean, there's photos for sure, but there are cons. There are downsides to living in South Carolina. Number one, I am not the only person who has made this realization of how wonderful this place is. This place has boomed since I moved here. Now, I chalk that up to two things. Well, three things, kind of. The first anecdotal thing, is there was already just a natural need for people to go somewhere else. As it happens, people always went west for a long time, then they kind of started to go south towards like Texas. Now, there's kind of this natural migration to the southeast. Old people have been on it going to Florida for years. Next thing, I blame COVID. So when COVID happened, nationwide shutdown. Every state shut down, no business, everybody get inside. A lot of states, red states, decided, all right, what's it been? 5 minutes? Cool. Back in business, boys. Everybody roll out. And so if you're living in Minnesota and everything is closed down and nothing wants to open, but you're sick of quarantine, it's time for your yearly vacation, cool, go on Google. Where's open right now? What states are open right now? South Carolina popped right up because we were open. I was doing tourism. I was doing zipline tours in COVID. I was wearing masks. I was wearing a mask on a zipline. But then people were coming here on vacation, and more people than would normally come on vacation, so we got kind of a boom in tourism business, which is not bad for the economy as long as those people leave. But a lot of these people did not leave. They realized how awesome this place was, and they said, cool, I live here now. And they bought up houses, and a lot of these people were rich enough to go on spontaneous vacations here, so they're buying up all the nice houses and all the land where there isn't currently a house. There's currently a house being built because they're scooping up all the real estate they can, and if they can't build a house on it, they're building a golf course on it. There's enough golf courses here. All right, I like golf. Golf's fun. There's enough courses. You can stop. And that's not even counting the communities where they're locking off entire heaps of real estate for private communities where a lot of it is still preserved land, but nobody can get there because it's privately owned, which I'm not against private land ownership. I'm just saying the wealth gap here is real. The next thing I blame, Outer Banks, the Netflix show about the children, the treasure hunters. That one. It's called The Outer Banks, but it was filmed around here. So it makes sense that people would watch that and be like, oh man, this lifestyle seems so cool. But I can't tell you, there's not a whole lot of room left. I will say that living in South Carolina has given me opportunities that I never would have had, not just in terms of employment, but just life experiences, things that I always wanted to do or never thought I would be able to do that I've been able to do since I've been living here. I mean, like the time I piloted a sailboat for the first time, or went shark fishing with my friends, and I pulled this massive shark out of the water at like 12 o'clock, at like midnight. I pulled this thing out of the water, and we had to work for 45 minutes to reel it in and pull up onto the beach. That's not something I ever would have even dreamed of being a possibility in Illinois. I know how to water ski, and these are all things where like these weren't major vacations or major trips. I mean, these were easy and accessible for me to do, and that's just such a wonderful experience that I get to take with me and have with me for the rest of my life. And that's why like I joke and I make fun of the people who are moving here, and we all complain about the traffic, but I can't blame people for wanting to move here. But my perspective is that my girlfriend's family has lived here her whole life, and for their whole lives, and for generations they've been here. I hate to be part of the problem, but I also don't think I can ever imagine myself living anywhere else. I mean, to be able to go to the beach on a winter day just to clear my head, or to be able to spend a day on the boat with my friends and go fishing and learn how to fish. Not something I knew how to do back in Illinois, but now it is something that I do for fun in my spare time, and I enjoy doing it. So yeah, I mean, that's been my experience living in South Carolina. It's been the greatest thing I could have hoped for my adult life so far. I mean, I'd love to travel around and still see other places. I gotta admit, it's hard for me to imagine landing anywhere else other than this. And not just because my family's here, but because I feel at home here. Perhaps more than I ever did in Illinois. And that took time. But once it set in, I can't imagine not living by the ocean or just having to freaking shovel snow out of my driveway anymore. I mean, it snows here like once a year, maybe once every couple of years, and even then it's gone by the afternoon, and still the whole town shuts down. It's kind of funny, actually, when like I used to wait for the bus in shin high snow and below zero weather. Those days are definitely done. In the end, I'm grateful that my mom brought us here, and I'm so happy that we're all together now. My whole family, all 6 of us, we all live here now. All this is to say, living in South Carolina is magical. And I think I'm probably going to live here for the rest of my life. And if you've never been, you should visit and then go home. Because your home, I'm sure, is also nice. So come by, say what's up, and then get.
I'm searching for a sign, chasing shadows while I walk that line. I gotta wander in deeper waters, 'cause no, my soul